Everyone knows that cars are expensive. In addition to the cost of acquisition, there is maintenance and the ever-increasing cost of fuel. We all know all these costs add up, but few of us know exactly how much it costs to own a car. Let's take a look. For some, purchasing a car is not an option but a necessity. For others, it is a way of keeping up with the social trends, of not being left out of the cool crowd. Whatever the reason may be, one thing for sure is that a car makes people's lives more efficient, and even in the gridlock of morning traffic, represents the best way to get from point A to point B.
If you have a series of appointments in a day and they're all across one place to the other, you would need a car to get there. I mean, today, guys sometimes have helicopters, so they move from one city to the other quickly.
To get a good idea of how much money goes into each facet of owning a car, let's use statistics based on a typical car, such as the Toyota Corolla NZD, a perennial bestseller in Kenya. Acquisition of the car for most people requires asset finance by a bank. Say our Toyota NZD, for example, sells for about 650,000 Kenya shillings. You will need to come up with 30% of that amount, which equals to 195,000 shillings, for the bank to contribute 70% of the same amount, which totals to 455,000 shillings. At an interest rate of 10.5% payable in 4 years, equivalent to 48 months, your monthly payment on the loan would be 11,872 shillings.
People are going for bank loans, cooperative loans, all sorts of loans, because we're not used to saving. We don't plan very well. So we end up finding we want things that perhaps we don't need, or maybe we need them later, but the loan is the most convenient.
One of the most frustrating yet necessary payments you'll ever make is car insurance. With premiums having risen to over 8% from a previous 4.5%, it is getting more and more expensive to cover yourself in the case of an accident. Hence, a comprehensive insurance cover for this Toyota NZD would cost you 52,000 shillings annually, or 4,333 shillings monthly.
Okay, the insurance premium has actually doubled from what we are saying 4% to about 7.5%, admittedly with a very good reason, because the claims experience has become enormous. Actually, first year, all companies make losses, especially on the motor private, where you find that because of the rampant way the vehicles have come in, the imported ones and all that, and young drivers also coming on the road, and very many easy loans, everybody now can access a car.
Fuel prices have been hitting record highs. Currently, a litre of petrol costs 98 shillings and 5 cents in Nairobi. In Kisumu, the same litre cost 100 shillings and 28 cents. And in Mombasa, it cost 94 shillings and 93 cents.
Fuel is a very, very interesting subject because there's so many variables. I mean, your vehicle engine size plays a role, but the most important thing is how you drive. Do you drive in traffic? Do you drive on the highway when it's clear? So on your average journey of 2 to 5 kilometers a day, it all depends on whether you get there in half an hour or in 5 minutes. And it all depends on when you leave the house.
Even a relatively economical car like our NZD would probably require about 1,000 shillings worth of petrol every week, depending of course on your location, traffic snarl-ups and the speed you are driving at. In Nairobi, you would then likely spend a total of 4,000 shillings every month on fuel. So far, you are spending 20,205 shillings on your loan deductions, car insurance premiums and the cost of fuel. And if that figure hasn't depressed you yet, don't forget all the tedious things you now have to do because you own a car. Parking fee, maintenance fee, as well as other miscellaneous expenses. Let's start with the parking fee. In Nairobi, you are currently required to pay 140 shillings per day, and if you choose to buy a monthly ticket, it will cost you 2,000 shillings. This amount is subject to change if the courts rule in support of the City Council to have the figure pushed up to a whopping 250 shillings per day.
These increases, of course, will mean that our revenues will increase by about 20%. Now the increase will of course go towards providing services to Nairobians.
And let's not forget about servicing your car. A full and proper service for our Toyota NZD would cost about 24,000 shillings after every 8,000 kilometers. A minimum of 2 service sessions per year would keep our car in shape, costing a total of 48,000 shillings. In monthly figures, this would equate to 4,000 shillings.
Service is as important as a balanced diet. If you do not have a balanced diet, you're going to fall ill. So if you don't give your car a balanced diet by taking it to the garage, getting it checked, checking the oils and all the lubricants, checking your brakes, making sure that your tires are right, because even your tires they contribute to fuel consumption, they contribute to the cost of running your vehicle.
There are other seasonal things you must do to keep your car in shape. Of this, buying tires is perhaps the most tedious and costly expense, and although all-season tires sound practical, they do not offer the same amount of safety and have to be replaced more often anyway.
Whenever you feel the car pulling to one side, it means something's gone wrong with your suspension components. If you don't deal with that, then you'll wear out your tires. So the cost of replacing a tie rod end or a shock absorber becomes now shock absorber plus tires plus so many other parts.
Luxury accessories like an air freshener, new floor mats, cleaning of the car, fitment of spoilers, or even the addition of a low-cost new stereo system should by now be quite evident that owning a car is like having one big money pit. All this adds up to 34,400 shillings, equivalent to 3,116,000 shillings per month.
In a good stereo, 10,000, it could be 20, depends on what kind of speakers you want to install in the vehicle. It can be expensive. It all depends on taste and how loud you want your car to be. You could put a very loud exhaust pipe. It won't make the car go faster, but at least it will get everyone cursing you as you drive past, because all the alarms will go off.
Totaling the monthly bank deductions, insurance premiums, varying cost of fuel, parking fees, service charge, as well as other miscellaneous expenses, owning a car will not cost you less than 29,321 shillings per month. For 4 years, until you finish paying off your loan, you will be spending approximately 351,852 shillings yearly on your car. For depreciating asset, is it really worth it?
If you're buying a vehicle just to have a vehicle and you're not actually using it the way you should, then it's not worth it. But if you're really going to put it to use and make it work for you, and you bought the right kind of vehicle to do the right job for you, then it's worth it.
Keep in mind that right from the get-go, many consumers overpay for their cars without even being aware of it. Hidden costs are everywhere, and the crafty salesman may not be revealing all of them to you. Fees for license and registration often go unnoticed.
Do your research before you walk into any showroom. Know what you're looking for, know what kind of engine you're looking for, what kind of consumption you're looking for, and then test the vehicle. Make sure it's got the right kind of shock absorbers, it's running well. Also do some research about where is it from.
Also, accidents that you may get involved in, as minor as they may be, require you to spend more money on fixing the car. Those little dents and scratches in your car can be very costly to repair, because a mechanic has to take the entire metal panel out to repair a single little dent.
There are times when the traffic is so bad and everyone gets agitated. So if you want to avoid those bumps and dents in traffic, where people are cutting each other in traffic, you just avoid that hour. Leave earlier, so you don't meet the matatus on the road and all those crazy people and the borders, and you'll be fine.
Owning a car is definitely a fulfilling experience, and driving down the highway showing off your cool rims and playing Jay-Z's latest album can be quite intimidating, but keeping that trend and your car that cool will cost you a fortune. One of the more frustrating parts of owning a car is seeing it go from shiny and sleek to a scrap heap. Even a careful person often gets caught up paying off banking loans because of buying a car out of emotion instead of reason. The cold hard numbers are in and the decision is yours. Does the convenience of owning a car outweigh the cost of owning the same? Lizz, Ntonjira, PM Live.